What's up, everybody? Mike here, and in this video I want to go into why you should be hyped for Lies of P, the next big Souls-like game coming out really soon here, within the next few weeks actually. And if you don't know what Lies of P is, this game is a sinister take on an already twisted fable based on the story of Pinocchio that originally is a children's fable with a bit of dark elements. The devs have made this version of Pinocchio already strong and powerful, plus partially a real boy, and have changed how Jiminy Cricket is to better fit the dark, gothic setting, which is similar to Bloodborne's Victorian gothic setting. Now, and also another thing I want to add, it should still be a demo you can try out, I believe, on consoles and PC. I played the demo a while back, and just on that demo gameplay, checking it out, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. Like, overall, it definitely has a lot of Bloodborne elements to it, but also a little bit of Sekiro elements to it as well too, while still being its own type of game. So some things I want to take note of here to let you know about some details that maybe you don't know about, or many of you don't know about, is, this is a single player Souls-like. So no PvP will be in this game, at least as of now. As far as I know, what I've checked out, nothing about PvP. You will be guiding Pinocchio through different areas, challenging boss fights, and more, with a variety of weapons and abilities at your disposal. That's going to be freaking amazing. And already from the demo, I was able to try out some of the things you can do with some of the weapons and, breaking down some of them and mix and match them. So I'll go into a bit more detail here. Things start off with a narrative focus and uncovering a web of lies as you try to find your creator, Geppetto, and journey to become a real man. So there are several NPCs you'll meet along the way. You can have come to your hub area, essentially, in the game, that can help you, but there are others that may not be trusted at all. Hence, part of the title name, Lies of P. So, yeah, there might be some NPCs you may have to lie to, or decide if you want to tell the truth. You must unravel each of their backstories to see which ones truly have your back, but you will also have the option to lie in certain situations, offering different outcomes. So, once again, kind of going back to that where, you got to decide if you're going to lie or not to see what happens. And to kind of go off of that, there is multiple endings. So multiple endings are possible. As far as I know, it seems to be 3 different endings, depending on what the path you choose to take. From what was shown off confirmed. But, very similar to actual Souls games, because From Software does a roughly 3 to 4 endings on all their Souls games. So it seems like this is following that similar, or if not same path, when it comes to game design, and I'm excited for it. I'm definitely excited for it. I want to try and get all 3 endings. I'm really ready to dive into this game, and I hope the full game, the final version, launch edition, will be even better than the demo. Some better balancing and just awesome boss fights, and just there's gonna be so much build variety in this game too. So I can't wait to do that. New enemies and more enemy variety as well. A cool example is the King of the Puppets boss, a massive foe capable of damaging combos, a large area effect attacks, and quick movement. Staying put and turtling makes no sense in this fight, so going aggressive is the way to go. So yeah, with certain boss fights, it's going by notes there, you will, can't just stand still, tank it. I mean, you might be able to make a tanky build as P in this game. To where you can just kind of sit there and tank hits and just like counter and stuff like that. But more often than not, this game wants you to be on the move, be aggressive. More so, again, that I feel like that kind of plays more to what Sekiro was like. Sekiro's a very aggressive combat type of game. Bloodborne as well too, in a sense, because you can't block in that game. You can't block in Bloodborne. So only thing you can really do is try to counter with the gun in your left hand if you have that, or just move around, dash around, and attack. Yeah, so it seems like this game is going to encourage that a lot to be an aggressive playstyle. And there's many ways you can do that, just depends on your build. So going up close might make it more dangerous also, but it's the only reliable way to deal damage to this opponent. So like talking about this particular boss, the King of the Puppets. Reads attack patterns, executing perfect blocks to negate damage, and dishing out pain of your own becomes the loop. So any health lost can hopefully be gained back by pushing hard. And there's a mechanic they have in here I'll go into in a bit, that where it's similar to Bloodborne, where you can get your health back a little. There's tons of weapons to experiment with. Weapons of all shapes and sizes can be equipped, allowing for all kinds of playstyles, guys. You could, go quick and prioritize dexterity with spears and swords, or go big with large, scythes and hammers. But most importantly, aggression comes first, so keep that in mind. There is no room for being safe in this game, as the enemies are aggressive and capable of hurting you in all kinds of ways. Like, it doesn't have to be a boss. Normal enemies will take you out, especially mobs. So, only by keeping the pressure up can you hope to survive. Dodge only works in certain situations, while damage still gets through blocks. So be careful when you block, as damage will still get through to you. By attacking, some of that health can be replenished, and even if you burn through all your healing flasks, cause enough hurt, and Lies of P rewards you with one more to survive for the time being. So, adding to this, weapons can be deconstructed to blades and handles and recombined to craft new weaponry in any way P sees fit. So there will be, hundreds of possible combinations to mess around with to figure out which playstyle you want, or to help deal with specific enemies. Plus, special abilities can be unleashed using the Legion Gauge, a unique MP that is replenished by using specific items or resting at a Stargazer checkpoint. Stargazer checkpoints are basically the bonfires of the game, or lamps. Weapon durability is another important game feature and mechanic that adds more management to P, and I guess the devs did not want you to feel OP, so OP with constantly attacking with your weapon. But good news is you have a way to repair it. So you can repair your weapon using a grinder that is always on P, and you can use it anytime you need to on the fly. Fable Arts. So to clear up any confusion about what is Fable Arts, these are special combat skills similar to how Ashes of War are in Elden Ring. Basically, they work like that. They are casted by consuming a weapon's Fable slot bound to the blade or handle. These Fable slots include offensive, defensive variety, and are charged during combat. They can be replenished in different ways, such as using specific items or unlocking passive skills in the skill tree called the P organ. The Legion Arm. This is like, you've seen this before, and some people refer to this, but this is an in-game mechanic, that reminds me of being like Mega Man or even Nero from Devil May Cry 5. Very much kind of works in a similar fashion, in that this is augmentable prosthetic arm used in your build, because you will find and unlock a variety of Legion arms to use, against enemies, bosses, or for your playstyle. So, well, I should say specific enemies or bosses. But yeah, the P organ is Lies of P upgradable skill tree, offering a web of upgrades to players. You will be using the in-game currency called quartz, which are basically souls to unlock upgrades in the skill tree. Now, Perfect Guard. This is an in-game mechanic that's kind of similar to, I guess, how Sekiro works, in a sense, where if you perfect parry, essentially, in Sekiro, you will not lose any, your posture. You won't take posture damage, essentially. So this is kind of a similar thing with that, in that when timed correctly, negates any damage you receive. On the flip side, it's like Bloodborne. The way it's like Bloodborne is, it's a guard regain mechanic that's also built in. So where you can get health back by being aggressive with your attacks, which can save you in certain situations, even when running out of healing items. So I kind of touched on this a bit before. And yeah, so guard regain is where it's similar to Bloodborne, where you can attack enemies, get some health back. But then the Perfect Guard is essentially kind of like a perfect parry that you can do against enemies and bosses. Summon Spectres. So this is the last little tidbit here. So this is basically AI allies you can summon to help you in boss fights, but you need a consumable item to even do this. This isn't a demo. It was featured there. There's only so much of this you can get at a time. But yeah, and as far as I know, at least based on a demo I played of this game, you can only summon one I don't know if they're going to allow you to summon more than one in the final version, but it's a possibility. Other Souls-likes have, allowed you to do that. I believe Neo or Neo 2. And if not those, then definitely Wulong did. Well, that came out earlier this year. Wulong allows you to have 2 extra AI companions or allies to help you in combat. So, it's a possibility they may let you have up to 2 and not just 1 for those tough fights if you feel like you can't take it on by yourself with those bosses. Just keep that in mind. But yeah, that's pretty much it. As far as I think why you should be hyped for this game, especially if you're into Souls-likes and Souls games. And if you're not, give this one a try at least. Check it out. Give it a little bit of your time. See if it grabs you. And I just can't wait to see what these bosses are going to be like, the full game. I've obviously beat a few in a demo. Were great. One took me a lot longer than I anticipated, but it was still a fun fight. And I just hope it really bounced out. Don't want to have it feel like a cheap loss when you lose to a boss. You want to make sure that it's sticking to the Souls-like formula where when you do lose to a boss, it's your fault and you got to learn from it. You got to learn from the patterns. You got to learn from your mistakes, things like that. So I'm very excited about this. And this, as well as Lords of the Fallen, are like the next 2 big Souls-likes I'm really hyped to play. So check it out. See what you think. Let me know in the comments below what you think about this. Are you excited about this game? Are you getting it? Are you going to try it on Game Pass? That's another thing, too. It's on Game Pass. So if you have Game Pass, you don't even have to pay full price for the game. But I know it's coming out on PC, on Steam. It's not just going to be on Game Pass PC or Game Pass console or Xbox. But yeah, it'll be available on Steam as well as PS5. So, and then I believe there's like a 3-day early access version as well, too, if you want to dive in early on the game. So there's those options there. Check it out. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below about this. My name is Mike. I'll see you next time.